Shalom. Call Elohim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. I was just reading through 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. Came across these few verses right here that I highlighted. And so I thought to just make a video from it. And of course, the reason why I'm doing this is because in these end days when Jacob's trouble hits, you either have the Lord on your side or you don't. That's all it's coming down to. If you don't have the Lord on your side, then you're screwed. Every single one of us is going to need protection from a higher power, from a divine entity. And that's going to be Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, seeing as though he's the one that's bringing this destruction. You're going to have people calling out on JC, Buddha, whoever and whatever gods that they believe in. But as many scriptures say, they're not going to get an answer. And all those gods are going to be put to shame. And so, of course, we call on the one true and only breathing, living power, being Yahweh. That's the true name of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly calls God. God is just a title. His name is Yahweh. We say Bahashem, which means in the name or in the name of. And then Yahweh Shai, which is the true name of his only begotten Son, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Right? His true name is Yahweh Shai. So we say Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And the reason why we say that is because the only way to gain access to the Father, the Most High Yahweh, is through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. So that's why we say in the name of. So Yahweh in the name of Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So if you didn't know, now you know. And you're going to need their mercy and their grace in these upcoming days to come, when Jacob's trouble arises, when it's bad, when there's famine, cannibalism, kind of what we're going to read right here in 2 Kings, what was going on in Samaria. So without further ado, this is 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 25. And there was great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. So there was famine in the land, a scarcity of food and water, lack thereof, to the point where the head of a donkey was sold for 80 pieces of silver. That's 80 pieces of silver. 1 score is 20. 20 times 4 is 80. 80 is 80 pieces of silver. That's how much a donkey's head was sold. And who's thinking about eating a donkey's head? Well, you're going to think about all that and more when there's famine. If the Spirit of the Lord isn't upon you, obviously, because these people are going to lose their minds. They're literally going to go insane, crazy. They're going to act ballistic. And when famine kicks in, they're going to start thinking with their stomachs. There's no such thing as being sane anymore in that day. So this happened before, it's going to happen again. Right, so an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung, my gosh, for 5 pieces of silver. So some poop, some shit, was sold for 5 pieces of silver. And guess what? You damn right they ate it. They ate that dung, and they were happy that they made that exchange. That's going to happen again. People are going to be finding rats, eating their dog's dung, and then they're going to eat their dog. Eventually, they're going to eat the crap, the leaves off the trees. It's going to get bad out here. Once again, there's no new thing under the sun. It happened before. It's most definitely going to happen again here in Babylon the Great. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, verse 26, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? So if the Lord ain't helping you, what the hell you think I can do? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress. Look, there's no food. There's no food here, ain't no water. If the Lord ain't help you, what do you think I can do? You asking me for help. I'm not God. I can't help you. He was probably hungry too. And he's a king, so whatever. But point being is that first phrase of verse 27. If the Lord ain't on your side, then you're screwed. If he ain't with you, then you're done in these upcoming days. And I'm not going to keep reading on, but you should. Keep reading, and you'll see why she was asking for help. Because cannibalism was kicking in. And that's going to kick in again. Whenever there's famine, cannibalism comes shortly after. So our job right now is to keep doing the Lord's work, doing his will, so that he can be with us in these end days. My previous video, I talked about how you have these doomsayers, doomsdayers, whatever you want to call them, and all these doomsday preppers that are doing certain things because they know that a collapse is coming. So you can kind of call this part 2 of my video from my last one. But now this one I'm just highlighting about how the scriptures talk about literally if the Lord is not with you, you're done. No one else, man can't help you. The Lord is the one that's bringing the famine. He's bringing the cannibalism. He's in control, and he's bringing the economic collapse. Now, au contraire, you have 2 Samuel 22. As you can see right here, it says David's Psalm of Deliverance. So this is an example of the opposite now. The Lord being on our side, on one's side, right? And having your enemies put down and you being good. Ultimately, we're looking for salvation from the missiles. So, of course, we relate these things to prophecy. So 2 Samuel 22, verse 1. And David spake unto the Lord the words of this song in the day that the Lord had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies and out of the hand of Saul. And he said, the Lord is my rock. So this is a song, like he was singing this. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, the God or the power of my rock. In him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. That right there, those first 3 verses are weighty. They're meaty. You got to understand that in every situation, even the small situations that happen throughout our daily lives right now, the Lord is in control of everything, and he sees everything, and he's guiding us. He's guiding us along a path that's going to lead towards salvation. You have to know that and remember that and believe it. Of course, you want to be humble and meek, but nothing is wrong with being optimistic and saying, the Lord is working with me. He's on my side. King David just said it right here. In him will I trust. He's my shield, horn of my salvation, my high tower, my refuge, my Savior. He saves me from violence. So yeah, we have to put on that same exact mentality. Can't be walking into Jacob's trouble and you just, you shaking in your boots. You can't even walk. You're just frozen. I think the Lord is with me. What kind of mindset is that? No, the Lord, I'm going to trust in him because he is my shield. He's the horn of my salvation. He's my refuge. He got me, right? If we're just speeding things up to, whatever you want to call it, new speak now, whatever slang. Look, the Lord got me. He's on my side. He's my ride or die. He's there. He's my number one, right? That's what King David just said right here in verse 3. The same exact thing. Like, the Lord got us. You got to remember that and know it, right? Verse 4 says, I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. And remember, he's talking about his enemies being put down. They surrounded him. That's what he means by the hell compassed me about. right? He's just riding off of verse 5. It's not talking about a place that burns forever underneath the ground that actually surrounded him. No, it's just parabolic talk for his enemies trying to come up against him. So the snares of death prevented me. In my distress, verse 7, I called upon the Lord and cried to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. And remember, I believe in the Apocrypha, it talks about how the prayer of the righteous pierceth the clouds. The same exact narrative was being sung right here by King David. He was in distress. He called upon the Lord, and his prayer, his request, it pierced the cloud. It was heard by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, and he was delivered. But you see the confidence that he had. He knew that the Lord was with him. You're only going to have that kind of confidence in these days if you're practicing right now, if you're putting your trust in the Lord right now. Because trust and faith, like we always say, it has to be built up. Like you just don't meet somebody on day one and all of a sudden you just trust him. Like, oh yeah, I mean, he seems nice. I like his voice. No. Over time, you experience things. You see the kind of character that he displays in different situations. Maybe he said certain things and you can, just based upon his behavior and how he's coming off, okay, this individual can be trusted, he or she, right? The same exact thing has to play out in our minds concerning Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. And that's how he made things happen, right? Like he gave us faith, and then he puts us through different experiences. We call out on him, and then he delivers us. He helps us out, and our faith and trust in him is built up. It's even stronger. That's what happens. So throughout your day-to-day life, that's why it's very, very important to always pray. Always pray, continue to communicate with the Lord on a daily basis. And no matter what you're going through, no matter how small it may be, call out on him. Just ask. Just send up that prayer request and thank him, of course. Be grateful for the things that you've been given in your life, spiritually and physically. And then just watch how he starts working in your life. And that's going to increase your faith so that you can walk around with the same kind of trust that King David had, especially when he was delivered from his enemies. All right, so that's why I'm bringing this out. Last precept here, Romans 8, verse 31. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? And not a damn soul on earth. Nobody. If the Most High, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, is on our side, there's not a damn thing that anybody can do against us. And you got to believe that and know it. That's why we have examples in the scriptures like what we just read. And many, many more of the Lord delivering righteous men from different situations. The same exact thing is going to play out in these days very, very soon. I mean, it's currently happening right now, but on an even greater scale when Jacob's trouble hits. So we got to believe that the Most High is on our side, continue to always put our trust in him, because we know that if he ain't on your side, ain't nothing that nobody else can do. No person has the might, the power, the strength, the influence to, keep you protected and safe in these end days. Everything is in the Lord's control and in his hands. So Lord's will, this was edifying to the elect. Call Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.